And hello. Welcome to the Absolute Football Podcast. It is Monday night. There is Premier League back. We've got rid of all that international nonsense and we're back to some proper football. Got plenty to chat about. Lots happening this weekend and we hope you can join us with the fun as we go through it all. And I've got an incredible duo tonight. It's Premier League, like a Premier League striking partnership of old. It's top level, this is. This is Andy Cole and Dwight York. This is Crouch and Defoe. This is Henry and Bergkamp. We've got Hannah and Lucas today. Absolute dream team, filling your fantasy Premier League points all over the place. Hannah, how are you? It's been a while. It's lovely to see you on the back of a United win as well. How are you?
I know, that's always nice. Big bonus there. I can come back and be positive. But I'm great. Thank you for having me back. It has been too long. Apologies on my side. I was just saying before I went live, it's been crazy, but here I am, ready to talk positive things about United, mainly.
It's nice to be positive. It's
good. We can all be smug tonight.
We can, but for 1 week only. We can be snug. And a man that's always positive at the moment, Mr. Positivity. Very happy. Of course, it's the North London derby. Of course, he's on the winning side again. Lucas is here. How are you doing?
3 in a row. Very, very happy. So, yeah, I mean, that's one way to start your week, winning the North London derby. So, no complaints. And Champions League is back as well. So, I mean, I feel like there's just football every day now until Christmas. So, yeah, why not?
There's no stopping. I hadn't realised this new format they play on a Thursday as well. So I was thinking, literally, there is no day without football now. It is proper top level all the time. Day. It's all going on. And talking of football going on, it's not the only game going on. There's a League One game going on today. Birmingham 1 versus Wrexham 1, which we don't normally cover on the Premier League, but it is a big game in League One. So I promised Charlotte we would cover it. And it's not just us covering it, because, of course, our Mr. Vidi printer himself, Spenny fan Chris, is here to tell us that there was an equaliser for Birmingham before we even went live. He's ready with us at Stansfield, their big money transfer equalised for Birmingham. And so it's not just Spenny fan Chris in the chat. We also have Simon as well, and plenty of people watching us currently on Twitter, YouTube, and all the jazzy wherever we're on now. I don't know, too many places. But we'll kick things off. We should start with we'll save our games. Should we start with Aston Villa versus Everton? Everton 2 goals up, blew it. I've heard this story before, Lucas. What's going on?
I feel really sorry for Rebecca in the chat. Poor girl. She really didn't want to celebrate, and then 2-0, you're like, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I think this might be the year for Everton. This might be it, to be honest. If they crawl out of this one, it'll be a miracle. I mean, they're probably going to get a points deduction again. So they're just capitulating. They're not really doing anything too wrong in terms of how they approach games, but they just completely fall asleep. And I don't know how they fix it. I mean, yes, they're missing Brantwaite. They're missing Mikalenko. Is that really enough, though? Is that going to change how they're playing significantly and the mentality going into the end of the game? They look like a defeated team at the moment, which is a shame because I do like Sean Dyche, but I don't know how they crawl out of this. I generally don't know how they crawl out of this. They look like they're going to lose to everyone at this point. I don't know who they've got next. Hopefully it's one of the teams near the bottom so we can actually get... Because I don't think they played anyone around them, any other relegation.
Leicester next.
Team.
Leicester away
next.
Sorry.
This is the one. This is the game where if they go to Leicester and they lose again, then yeah.
And troubles are brewing. This is what's tricky because they have... to be Villa, no one would have given them a shot going into it anyway. But it's almost like if you get battered 3 or 4-0, it's kind of, okay, that can happen. But to lose 2-0 victories 2 weeks in a row, having had it in the back, and just, as you said, they just fall apart. They don't seem to be able to defend crosses from what I've seen. Literally have no idea how to block or stop a cross. It's mad. And they just absolutely fall to pieces.
Yeah.
Do you agree, Han?
In that situation?
Yeah,
I was going to say 2-0 down to Everton was pretty poor from Villa, and they've started relatively slow, but it's a good comeback. And Watkins is finally firing. So
Watkins is on fire, and we'll come to another man, John Duran, who's become the new Ole Gunnar Solskjaer / Divock Origi of the Premier League. But do you agree, Han? Everton banging trouble for you? I think they're just having that rocky patch where they can't get over the line, but you're seeing enough from them.
I agree with Lucas. I think this is the year. I mean, and they've avoided it by the skin of the teeth for the last 2-3 seasons. It's not. I mean, if I was an Everton fan, I would be seriously questioning the mentality of the team, because how in back-to-back games, and you've had an international break in between, you've had time to regroup. I know international breaks don't always help a team, but if they were doing that before, capitulating 2-0 up twice back-to-back, like that's terrible. And that's seriously a mentality point. Like, how can your players be 2-0 up and then let that happen? And it wasn't even just like on both occasions, it was 2-2 and they got a draw. Like, to go ahead and lose from a winning position like that twice back to back, it is a way you have to ask, where are the players up to? How mentally? It can't be easy. I know they're paid a lot of money and things like that, but the team's in trouble. And another thing is, no one really talks about this, but they've got a lot of pressure on them to stay in the Prem again this year, because obviously next season they move to the new stadium.
Yeah.
And everyone jokes like that's going to be the best stadium in the Championship.
50,000.
That's not a joke. It will be.
Crazy. Yeah.
Like, to have your first season when you've been in the Premier League, never been relegated to then?
Yeah.
Crazy. So I don't know if they'll stick with Sean Dyche, but he's the most confusing manager ever, because he's not a bad manager, but how can questions not be asked when they've done that twice now?
Yeah.
Like, it's worrying. Like, I think they've got okay players, but it's, at what point do we start questioning the manager? Because again, like, not to be like the typical United fan, if this was Ten Hag, I know we're at different levels, but if he loses 1-2 games, everyone's on his back. But I feel like because it's Dyche, he gets a lot of slack. And he's a nice guy, he's a good guy, like, he's a good manager. But I just feel like, at what point do you go, do they need a new manager? Is it the ownership? Is it everything? Is it the mentality of the team? Because it probably is a bit of everything, but there's nothing to be excited about there if you're an Everton fan, in my opinion. Hate to be bleak, but to do that twice is crazy.
It's not looking good. And the problem is that ownership's a mess as well, and they're trying to, they're hoping for sort of that buyout. So there's kind of no stability in the club, that because usually then get owners that panic, and I'm not really sure where these owners are at, to be honest. They're going to have to do, I think, a hell of a lot. I mean, they've conceded 13 goals in 4 games. That's just not, and I know, like as you said, no Brentford, but that's not just that, is it? That's just conceding way too many shots.
Yeah. Graham's point in the chat about they usually look bad, but they're always the 4th worst team. I kind of agree with that. The only thing is, for the last year, it was pretty much like they're better than Luton, they're better than Sheffield, because they were just awful. And then this year, I'm looking at them like, Southampton look pretty bad, but Leicester and Ipswich, I don't know. I think they can stay. I think Ipswich look like a better Luton, like a more organized Luton, and they just don't have the quality. And Leicester look all right, to be honest. I think they'll get points here and there.
Well, even the teams we thought might be down there, and if you looked at like lots of people's predictions at the start of the season, everyone's saying Forest and Brentford, who both have been brilliant so far.
Yeah. I mean,
Forest.
Forest are just. Oh, no wonder Josh isn't here today. We're just, they're a bit of a surprise at the moment, but will it last? But they're playing well. I mean, Nuno Santos, he had his Wolves side playing pretty well, and he looks to have got it clicking at Forest at the moment. But yeah, I don't know. If we're looking at it like right now, we're saying, okay, they're probably slightly better than Southampton just in terms of their squad. On par with maybe Leicester. I'd say that, again, Everton's squad, like Hannah said, Everton's squad isn't that bad. They've got some really good players in it. And like Calvert-Lewin is scoring goals, which you will say if he scores goals, they'll be all right. And then they don't look all right. And he actually looks like he's going to stay fit and score goals from this season. So I don't know. I think right now they are pretty comfortably in that bottom 3.
It's looking trouble. As you said, Calvert-Lewin's been by far their standout so far. He could have had another one at the weekend as well. He crashed against the bar, didn't he? He's looked pretty good. We will be coming to the Liverpool game, don't you worry. And I'll give Josh, to be fair, he did book this off a couple of weeks ago, so I did promise him I would let him have the fact that he hasn't run away.
What did he know?
Exactly. He sensed it. He knew it was happening. So it was incredible. Yeah, Dominic Calvert-Lewin doing some bits. Dwight McNeil. Probably there are only two players I think that have shown anything so far this season. Defensively, they look a right mess. But flipping it on its head to Aston Villa, Ollie Watkins has finally turned up. Hannah, he's looking like he's back now from the Euros. Obviously, big week for them because they're Champions League as well. So that campaign's starting off. How do you rate Villa's start so far?
Oh, great. And they had a good transfer window, and obviously they had a great season last season. They exceeded everyone's expectations. So it's going to be interesting, I think, to see when they do start playing Champions League football, like week in, week out. But I'm excited to see them play Champions League. They'll be good to watching games. Like those games I am looking forward to. But I think with them, like on the flip side to what I said about Everton, their mentality is insane. Like they go 2-0 down and they come back and win it. And how amazing. Like all of those goals were like worldies. That Duran goal was insane. But it's nice to see Ollie Watkins scoring. Like although it's hard to be happy for Villa because they're like competing with us now. Like they're with the big boys. They're like better than United. So it's kind of hard to be like happy about it. But it is nice to see like obviously Watkins has gone through a bit of a dry spell, and obviously we saw like with Rashford in the Southampton game, I think when they do start getting goals, like confidence comes back, and it's just nice to see players that are thriving. So I do think, he'll be back in his like goal scoring form. But yeah, what a great way to win a football like game. I thought that was a great watch. I was like 5:30 kickoff, that's promising, and it delivered. I was like, Everton are not going to win this, and then they go and do what they did again.
They did, fell to pieces, and there's no better way, as you said, for them to win it. Villa will get so much confidence from that till they go in the Champions League. So Duran coming off the bench is ridiculous at this point. I think he's only had 3 Premier League starts and he's got 8 goals or something. It's a crazy stat like that. He's not he's a closer. He's the man that you bring on to close. Yeah. Just absolute quality. And I don't know what you think, Lucas. I've been really impressed with Tielemans so far this season. Obviously lost Douglas Luiz, and I think Tielemans has been well up there for them this year.
He's quality, Tielemans. Years ago when he was linked with Arsenal, I wanted to sign him. Then he went to Leicester, and I was like, go and get him again. He's a brilliant midfielder. Tielemans can do a bit of everything. But like I think we said this last year, like their squad was actually pretty underrated last year, even without European football, in terms of players they had on the bench. And then they've added to it, like Ross Barkley's that's just a great squad addition. Like, why not? And then who else did they sign? They brought another fullback in, like a young fullback from
they bought Matchday, didn't they? They
bought Matchday as well. Another left backs. They got covers for Cash and Digne now. Mings is coming back soon. They've got enough centre backs at the moment because he's not playing the 5, the 3 centre backs. Konza can fill in on the right. The midfield, they got Camera coming back at some point. And then Duran, now you've got another striker who is pretty much clicking with the team when it comes to scoring goals. It offers you something slightly different. So Villa's team is set up perfectly. And I think it was also going to be the case with Unai Emery as well. Like he's done this before. He's managed in every competition in Europe, I think, and minus the Conference League. So with Villa and the investment, and they're obviously backing him, he was going to prepare that squad for all of these competitions. And they've had a bit of a slow start, but they're still picking up wins, which is all you need to do. And like Watkins hasn't scored a goal for in their first 3 games. And he scored how many goals did he get last season? Did he get 26, 27?
Yeah. He was second. Was he top scorer? No, he was obviously Haaland.
No, he was behind Palmer,
wasn't he? Yeah, Palmer. That was it. Of course, it was. Yeah.
Palmer.
So 2 so far. Great start, and he's not had a great. First 2 games he wasn't at the races, was he? So
slow. Yeah. Morgan Rogers was the other person I was thinking of who came into the team in a preseason. Jacob Ramsey's there. Like they have so many options. Buendia is about to come back. So many options, and these are all like quality players. Leon Bailey as well. So I think Villa. It was a tricky one because I think I had them just falling out with more of the competitions, but the way they're looking at the moment, and they gave us. I mean, let's be real. They probably should have beaten us. They fell apart, and if Watkins had finished his chances, that would have been a different game. But that's the difference in quality between us and them at the moment. So, I can't see past them getting in that top 4 again, to be honest, or at least being around there for the rest of the season. And who knows in some of the cups as well what they'll do. Like, I really want to see who are they playing in Champions League first, not PSG first, but I want to see what they do in Europe with Emery because he's setting up with that 4-4-2. You just know it, and he's going to be ready to just kind of just sit there and wait.
Yeah, and if we think he's a master at kind of what he's been doing Villa so far, you wait till he gets into Europe. He loves a good European competition, and he knows how to go deep in those competitions. It's, as we say, then they seem to have bulked the squad quite nicely to deal with it in those areas. So, going to be a real tricky one, I think, watching Villa, seeing how they're going to get on. The chat, I've had a few. If you say, we'll go back to Everton on the chat because they want their say as well. Moyes back to Everton has been rumoured so much since these 2 losses as well. Could be intriguing, but
I think he should just enjoy his retirement.
Yeah, I agree with you. Go manage abroad. I go manage in Turkey with Mourinho or something for a bit. I thought about that when I was looking at Southampton and Leicester. I was like, one of these lot is going to sack their manager and go and get Moyes, aren't they? It's just going to be. He's
the next one on the list, isn't he? Like every time, the first one that goes.
He's that new Dyche now, yeah.
Or Southgate.
Oh my god! I dare one of those teams to hire Southgate.
I would pay money for that to happen because it means United won't get him.
Yeah, I want Southgate anywhere. Air United.
Can you imagine Gareth Southgate with a relegation battle like threatened team? That's, I mean, bloody hell. Yeah. I really want to see this, actually, to be honest. I feel sorry for the poor team that does it, but yeah. Moyes to Everton is 100% being planned.
It's a possibility. It's one to consider. Nick says no leadership at Everton upstairs is very detrimental. Everton have been a top flight since 1954, and so they last few seasons we know that they've struggled. Simon again comments about the ownership from having an effect on the players. Dietrich feels bad for Everton, wants them to do well and likes Dyche as a manager, but God knows what will happen at the end of the season. Hello to Jen as well. Lovely Jen is with us today. Hello, Jen. Thanks for joining us. And Graham gives us the best description you could call the John Duran strike. It was a good old thunder bastard. Fantastic strike. Superb thunder bastard. And Graham has also spotted we're wearing team shirts, team colours today. We're all in black. This is it. Hannah spotted it straight off the bat.
I said that when we came on. I said we all are telepathic and got the memo. So well in, Graham.
This is it. Graham spotted it as well. Well done, Graham. So that was Villa and Everton. Go on then, Hannah. I know you're bursting to have some joy.
You've not had many happy times lately.
I was on the last time I was on. No, I was on last week, but yeah, I was on for the Manchester United Liverpool game, so I'm more than happy to let you talk.
I was there.
Nil, Man United 3.
I wish that like when the third goal went in, I'd stayed in bed that day because I woke up with this deluded optimism, and then I thought, I could just stay in bed and not go, and then yeah, I wish I didn't. Anyway. We won, and before anyone in the comments or Lucas or anyone, it was Southampton, blah, 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 don't care. We got an away win. We got a clean sheet. Onana saved a penalty. Yeah, I'll take that. I was worried the first 20 minutes when we kicked off and I just thought, oh my God, Southampton, we're going to give them their first win of the season. Like, we're going to give them 3 points, but, dug in, and I thought we played well in the end. I thought it took us a little bit longer than it should have to grow into the game. But that's us when we play away from Old Trafford. It's always the way. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying I'm happy at the moment. Obviously, I've not been on for a long time, and if you know me, I'm very, pro Ten Hag, but I'll be super honest. I'm not saying I'm Ten Hag out, but my patience is beginning to wear thin. Even though we won, we should be beating Southampton 3-4, 5-0 with the players that we've got. And we should have had more goals. And yes, we played very, very well. But I'll only be convinced and happy long-term if we can go and do that week in, week out. And at the moment, it's hard to say if we will. It's really hard to predict what we're going to do. And it's really hard to predict which United are going to turn up. But, I think we do have room to be positive. The summer transfer window, at first, I wasn't really convinced. But look at Mazraoui, 13, 14 million? Great signing.
Bargain.
I mean, if he can stay fit, if our defenders can stay fit, Preston loves that one. If they can, I'll be happy. We've got a good, strong back line now. Obviously, Delit getting his first goal after quite a bad international performance the same week. I was really happy for him because for his confidence and just for having him in our team, that would have done a lot for him. So that was great. And then that goal obviously set the tone for the rest of it. And it was just nice to see like Rashford back on the score sheet again. He needs to have a seriously good season, or I will be all for him getting sold in summer, which is probably unlikely because he's like golden boy, whatever he does. But yeah, and then Garnacho to get a goal and finish it off was brilliant. But they need to keep doing that, and we need to finally start seeing positive goal difference, because I do not want another season of, oh my god, we're on 0. I remember last season, every time we used to get back onto 0, I'd celebrate when you've got Arsenal on like plus 40. So really happy, but yeah, we should be beating Southampton. I'm sorry, like no disrespect to them, but we need to go and do that against, you know, your top 6 teams, which hasn't happened for a while. So I'm happy and I'm positive, but I'm also a little bit skeptical, which I'm sure you can understand, Sam.
Yeah, I think it was this week is one of a little bit of relief. I think after the Liverpool game, then it was like, here we go, and the whole world, you know, went at everything that United was doing, and the media was just horrendous, and everything's a disaster. And you know, I don't know what you think. I'm in the position this season was I know it's going to be up and down. What I want to see from the team is more control in matches, particularly matches like this that they should be winning. So, like, while I'm happy with how it turned out, that first half an hour still worries me, because it's just teams that just get on top of us, and we then sort of, the bit that I get frustrated with 10 when they'll sort of talk it up at the end. Yeah, it was great. And it's like, it was from kind of after the penalty, because they sort of stopped playing to an extent. We came into the game, managed it really well.
Momentum.
But you're thinking that first half an hour, you're thinking that's not the control. And I looked at the lineup and went, we're replacing the no legs of Casemiro and the massive spaces with the no legs of Christian Eriksen and the massive spaces. It doesn't, I know Ugarte's, they're bedding him in, but you're looking at that going, that's not the answer either. So it says Russ, Southampton says Southampton on top at the start. If that pen went in, it could have been a different story. Could have been. And I think that's good for Onana as well. Nice for Onana to get a save. I think I'm the same as you. You just want to see the players get confidence, because every time something bad happens, they get absolutely battered. And I just want to see them grow as a team and confidence and kind of go about their business quietly. But it's hard to do at Man United because you can never do it quietly, can you?
Well, it's impossible. But I think what you said there, Sam's like spot on. Like, as far as little bits of confidence for so many different players for different reasons, Saturday was perfect for that. And I was a bit worried because I know it sounds silly, but like 12:30 kickoff away from home after an international break, like we needed to have a good game as well to be able to rest players tomorrow. Like, we play Barnsley, so we should be playing our B or C team tomorrow. And Mazraoui, Martinez, they all need to be getting a rest because they all obviously came off. And these are the players that we need to stay fit. So I think if these players can stay fit, and again, more reason to be positive. We've got Lenny Yoro to come back. We've got Erling Haaland. I wish.
Lovely.
We've got Rasmus Højlund to come back. So, you know, like, I think there's room to be excited, but I just think we need to like hold our horses and just see some consistency. And until there is that consistency, like, everyone's just going to keep coming for Ten Hag, which I'm not saying is wrong, because he does deserve some criticism, but it'll probably come up at some point. Like, how can he be slaughtered day in, day out, but you've got Ange Postecoglou, who's had like 9 losses in the last 11 games? Like, he doesn't get half the heat that Ten Hag does. So although it's frustrating, like, this is where as fans we do have to dig in and like support them, because the media are just relentless. But that's being a United fan, we're used to it. But yeah, 3-0, I'll take that. And that penalty save was so good. Because I was so mad at Dallo. I was like, why?
It was a stupid tackle, wasn't it?
It was.
Just a stupid tackle.
He's been a bit careless recently. But one thing that worried me as well, Sam, is like our whole starting 11 had a really good international break. And it's annoying then if they come back and play for us and they're absolutely awful, because then it's like, that is the manager, that is the way that they're setting the team up. So it was like good that they all did have a pretty good performance on Saturday. But yeah, that first half an hour still worries me. Definitely.
It definitely does. And it was nice to, as you said, the positivity, because the fan base last week was horrible as well. It was both sides going at each other. And everyone seems to have to be Ten Hag in and Ten Hag out. And I'm like, I think I can see where this is going. I think a lot of us can see where this may well end up. But at the same time, you want to get behind the team. And so early on in the season, the Liverpool one hurts because it's Liverpool, but it is so early on in the season. And as we said, everyone goes on about the money United have spent. We still haven't seen 2 of our new signings. Ugarte came on for the debut, and Euro's been injured yet, so we're still looking to bed them in too. There's still more to come. Xerxes, you could see against Liverpool, needed some time with the team. He needs to work where he's going to be. So we've not got a recognised striker. There's lots of things. As Graham says, the one thing I have liked though, we've fielded the same back 4 for 2 games, Premier League games in a row. This is absolutely unheard of. This is unbelievable. I mean, we've still got a right back at left back, but we have got the same 4 playing
we've got Luke Shaw to come back. I forget that he still plays for us, and Malacia.
Oh yeah, Malacia. Maybe we'll see him one day. God knows what's happening with that kid, but he seems to be well off.
Right, we've got Anthony as well. He can play left back. He loves to do that.
Yeah, keep him as far away from the squad. I think that's one thing. He can play against Barnsley. How about that? I'm ready for him against Barnsley.
Oh yeah, he can get some minutes there. I think Bayern can as well.
Yeah, those 2 are an absolute sure, and I'm sure they'll be playing. Johnny Evans as well. Johnny can get a run out as well. Why not against Barnsley? But as you said, it's nice. 3 points. It's Southampton. So as Graham says, it's kind of a no-win game. Don't win that. It's the end of the world. Bad for me because obviously I'm in Southampton, so any loss to Southampton would have been horrendous off the back of a Liverpool win, so that would have been shocking. Yes. It was nice. I wasn't watching the game live. I was playing tennis with my teammates were Southampton fans, so that kind of made things a bit awkward for the afternoon, but I was happy, so who cares? We got through it in the end. Lucas, on the other foot, what have you from Southampton in the early weeks? I think obviously they were terrible against Brentford. The playing out from the back was woeful against one of the high pressing teams of the league. Have you seen anything from Southampton that tells you that they're not cooked?
No. No. I'm going to try and be really nice to Southampton, because I actually do like Southampton. But, I mean, if you get promoted to the Premier League, and we always say this, like you increase your chances of staying up by having a goal scorer or a certified goal scorer. If you have a striker who's going to get you close to 15 Premier League goals as a newly promoted side in the Premier League, you're very likely to stay in the Prem. Like, it's just the correlation between one of having a consistent goal scorer. Ivan Toney comes up with Brentford, they're fine. They've got Mbeumo now. Jamie Vardy and Leicester when they came up. Bloody what's his name at Leeds? I can't remember his name. He's awful now, but used to be very good, and he scored like 17 goals. Ex-Chelsea. Patrick Bamford comes up. Patrick Bamford scores 16 goals. They stay up. So, like, if you're a newly promoted side and you need a striker, so your choice is Cameron Archer from God, where's he from? He wasn't even Sheffield's player. He was on loan.
He was on loan. Was he Villa from Sheffield? Did he also play at Barrow as well? Yeah.
Villa for 17 million is how much they spent on him. He scored 4 goals for Sheffield last season in the Premier League in 33 games. 4 goals. So that was the guy that they signed to keep them in the Premier League. And I mean, I know he missed the penalty, but I'm not even talking about the penalty, but just in general, like, the signings just aren't good enough. Like, and that's what they're talking about. They always talk about on Sky with, like, the gap between the Premier League and the Championship is starting to widen. And I think a big part of that is the teams that do get promoted do not make the right choices when it comes to investing in players that are actually going to give them enough quality to stay up. And I think Southampton just haven't done enough in the window. Honestly, I looked at that team that came up against United, and I was like, they were playing well, but I was like, if they didn't score, as soon as they missed that penalty, you're like, this United are going to win this game, and then you're probably going to batter them because their heads were just gone, and then that was it. They couldn't keep up. They're not good enough to play out from the back. They've made mistakes that every single game. They haven't got enough up front to actually put games to bed like it was shown against United. And, even if they scored that penalty or they scored one of the chances that, what's his name, Dibley had on the side, who was absolutely cooking Dalot. Dalot had a shocker that first half, to be honest. I even look at it and I'm like, do Southampton have enough here to hold on? And it's against a United side who are just on the back of a battering by Liverpool. And I was like, confidently, no, to be honest. Any other team, I'd be like, yeah, they're 1-0 up like Brighton or something. United are probably going to lose this. But that one, I'm just like, I don't feel confident that Southampton are going to win this game. So I feel for them, but it's still early days. Like, I don't think it's on the manager at the moment, but the playing out from the back, you're going to have to maybe calm down with that at the moment. It's not going to work with the players that press in the Premier League for some of these teams. You need to be completely confident that your centre backs can play under pressure. to be able to do that, or you're just going to get pressed and give up 3 goals. So hopefully it turn it around, because like I said, I do like Southampton, but I don't know. At the moment, they're looking like this year's Sheffield.
It's looking really, really shaky. Really
like a
shaky.
rough year, Southampton fans.
Everton.
It could be a rough year.
Everton have got the history of just surviving. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They just,
Saints fans, when even last season in the Championship, there was half of them going, "We don't really need to be going up just yet." To be honest, this is a problem.
I know a few of them were just like they're like
they thought
this is at work, and they were like, "We're not staying up."
Yeah, this is a problem. And as you said, Cameron Archer coming in. The bit I couldn't understand, like Ben Brereton Diaz has scored 9 penalties in a row, and Cameron Archer's never taken a penalty. Where's that decision making coming from? Absolutely,
because he's a proven goal scorer in the Prem, or even in the Championship. It's just strange business. It was like last year when who is it? Did Burnley sell Sander Berge, or was it the other way around? Who sold Sander Berge? Who was like their best player in the Championship? I think it was Sheffield. Sheffield sold them to Burnley. So Sheffield go up with Burnley and sell their best midfielder to the other team that goes up with them. And I'm just like, it's just really confusing business if you're trying to stay in the Premier League. It just doesn't make any sense. So it's annoying because honestly, like we all love when teams who get promoted to the Premiership stay up. Like when was the last time all 3 stay? Actually, it might not have been that long ago. I think it was 2 years ago, wasn't it?
All a few seasons. Up. Was it the one where wasn't it Forest? Was it the one where Fulham came up?
Forest one, right? Forest, Brentford, and Fulham. Was that right?
Was it Fulham? Yeah, I think it was those 3.
It might have been. It might have been 3 seasons ago. 2 or 3 seasons ago, all 3 stayed up. Someone in the chat will know. But I think before that, it might not have happened in the Premier League history, to be honest. So it is nice when we like, as long as they don't take points away from us. I love it when those teams come up and actually have give it a go and stay up, or at least give it a go. Like Luton last year gave it a proper go, tried to play entertaining football, and some of the best games were Luton. Arsenal Luton was amazing. Liverpool Luton was amazing. Chelsea Luton, like they really gave it a go. And I get that vibe from Ipswich, Southampton, Leicester. I don't know, but Leicester have got that quality, and they've got quite a few experienced players in there. Got some players who played at the high end, so yeah, I don't know Southampton, but you lot just see how you do against Palace. To be honest, that's going to be a tricky game because they're down on their luck at the moment. You are going away again, aren't you? It's a tough game on paper for you lot. That's a game you lot would. I'd look at your team and go, you lose that.
This is one of our bogey games.
Exactly.
This is do you remember last season when we went and
they did a double over you?
They got that last minute free kick and Elise scored it.
Yeah, we've been done. I remember them coming and they've done us at Old Trafford a couple of. I even remember the games that we've won. They've been. I remember Matic scoring at the 97. We've literally every time we've done it, we scraped
Palace
it.
Are like,
but you have to win that. Look at your team now. Like you have to go and win that. You have to pick up these results now.
We do,
and make that Liverpool game just a blip. But
one thing that we can say about this weekend, which we don't often get to say, so I'm going to say it. Our win was the biggest win of the weekend. I looked at the results and I was like, when can we ever say that? Like,
you've done this Premier League this week, Anna. We've won it this week.
I know. I was like, small.
How many games did you score more than 2 goals last season?
There was only one. 1 or 2, I think, to win a goal by more than 1 game.
To Wolves, I think. And even that, you only won by 1 game.
Like 4-3, last week, like the Wolves
Wolverhampton,
game.
I remember that. Yeah,
that was a good game.
Yeah, it hasn't quite clicked yet, but I think you got Højlund, Shaw, and Lindelof potentially all back for the next game.
And then we get, I think, in the next 4 weeks, they say Laniora is coming back, so that'll be good.
Oh, I might be back because the fixtures are starting today. We've got some tricky ones there, didn't we? We've got Villa away coming up. Spurs
and Spurs. You should be. Oh, we'll get on to Spurs. Don't worry. I wouldn't worry about that game.
I think we should be winning that.
Yeah, but I wouldn't worry about that game.
We should be. As you say that, it's which United turn up, but to win this week by 3 goals.
When I do my goal predictions on TikTok, like honestly, I sit there for like a good half an hour before, like it's really hard to predict. I said 3-1 the other day, so I was like, oh, I discredited us that clean sheet. But...
This is it. I'd never trust a clean sheet. Definitely not a clean sheet. You can't be back in. It's not.
Oh no! You know what? Before we move on,
good game.
Deserved that. After saving that penalty, he deserved a clean sheet.
Yeah.
And he's been under a lot of scrutiny, and he had a really good international break. So, like I say, it's just nice when they come back and actually put a shift in for us. But Ahmad needs to be starting over Garnacho. I feel like Garnacho is amazing, but he's so good off the bench. Like, he's literally guaranteed to come on and score off the bench.
I don't think he started yet. Is he? Did he get the South going back to
He
South
hasn't started
America?
yet.
And yeah,
I'm biased because I did my FPL and I took him out, obviously, and he scores. But I don't
And
know.
he's
It's
so
really
good off
weird
the
now with
bench.
Rashford getting that goal. You're like, yeah, he is good off the bench. But you look at the beginning of the season, you go, it has to be got your best in terms of who's playing well is Garnacho on the left, Diallo on the right, Højlund down the middle. Obviously, Rashford's got to play. He scored in the last game. Although, what else did he do apart from that goal?
No, nothing.
Nothing, as usual. Looks like he doesn't want to be there and doesn't move of a 10-yard area on the wing. That's the reason Dalot was getting cooked as well. He had no help. But that's not on Rashford. That's got to be tactical because he's been doing that for 3 years now.
It's not an excuse, but that it's a different gravy when Rashford and Shaw link up. So I'm excited for Luke Shaw to come back if he's insistent that he's going to play Rashford, because they're really good together.
He does. He needs that overlapping run, doesn't he? But then it's obvious what he's going to do as well. And Southampton gave him so much space to take that shot as well. He's not going to get that space against other teams. But it was nice to see it wonderfully go in the corner. Talking of wonderful, Charlotte's here in the chat. Char was here at the right time in the show. We love having Char on. Absolutely. Hope you're okay, Sean. Had a wonderful weekend. One thing we haven't spoke about in the game so far as well. I think I saw Graham mention it. Some people said it wasn't a red card. Anything? any differences on the red card? No. I thought it was too high. It was too high, wasn't it? The tackle?
It was high. It was reckless. It was a red. It's the thing is, like, people will always argue against it when it's not your team, but in the same breath as well, like with the inconsistencies and the card inconsistencies we've seen particularly already this season. Like, what was it, 14 yellows given out in that Chelsea game? It's really hard to say what isn't and isn't a card. I genuinely just believe it's what that ref feels in that moment on that day, and it changes and the goalposts like move. So I think it was a red. I don't think that's me being biased. I think it was too high. It was like if he could have really broke his knee. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, you never know what you're going to get with these officials.
Yeah, there was lots and lots of cards. We'll definitely be coming to lots more cards at the weekend. Graham says both feet off the floor, so it's reckless, and he caught him on the knees. So serious foul play. It's a red all day, every day. Just going back to Southampton, the one thing I can't quite understand with the way they're playing is at the end of last season in the playoffs, they played really pragmatically. He changed the system and he played more of a fight against Leeds and against, was it West Brom they played in the semis? And both of them, he played a bit more cautiously. They didn't play it from the back as much. They were a little bit more compact, and it worked really well. Yeah. And from what I'd heard from Saints fans, he did that a bit in pre-season, and for some reason has just completely abandoned it the minute they've got to the Premier League. So I wonder whether that's still up his sleeve. But he's got to start to do it. He's got to do something differently because they carry on like this. I think Simon might have said it up here, possibly. They're the new Burnley, playing the same way that Burnley played last season, and it's a company changed too late. So, and even if they change, it might not be enough, but I get the feeling they're going to have to try and do something. They will have to try and do something. So that's Manchester United. Then there was the North London derby on Sunday. Who would have thought that a team that's really good at set pieces and a team that don't care about defending set pieces get done by a set piece? Lucas, winning at Tottenham is
wow,
recurring for you, isn't it?
Three in a row now. Not Whitehall Lane, sorry, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I was naturally, like most Arsenal fans, a little bit nervous going into this game. But then after the Odegaard injury as well, that was when it was like, oh, this is going to be tough now. And I think it was looking at the whole week as a whole, because I think now it actually gets properly tough with Atalanta away and then City away. You don't want to go to a Serie A side away with like missing half of your midfield. But as it got closer to the weekend, I got more confident, and I was just like, honestly, like, they're not good. They're just not. They're like, and set them up. And when I saw their lineup and how attacking it was, I couldn't believe that's the lineup that he went for, because I thought he was going to pack out the midfield. Instead, he just went for a load of attackers and was like, well, Arsenal are going to have Jorginho and Partey, so they're not going to press as high, which is obvious. We only know what Arsenal are going to do. Same thing we're going to do against City. We're going to sit behind the ball and try and get him on the counter, which to be fair to Mikel, like being able to do that alongside having possession and being, that's good that you have that dynamism in your team. Spurs are so easy to play against when you put a low block. And like, we just gave every team the blueprint on how to stop them. They had nothing in terms of the final ball. Kulusevski would like dribble past a few players. Son would get it. Solanke would give Saliba a bit of trouble. But then you never thought they were going to score. And it was just like for the whole game, it was just like after the first half and after Solanke missed that was their best chance when Ben White passed it backwards. And he was like, all he had to do was lay it off to Pedro Porro goal or take a shot. And I don't know what he did. And there you go. That's Dominic Solanke for you. I was just looking at it. I was just like, you know what? This is winnable for either team, but Spurs just don't look like they're ever going to get a goal here because they haven't got the ability in that final front three anymore. Son is like the shadow of the player he was. Still got, the technical ability, but he's not going to run games like how he was before, especially the way he was playing on the wing. So I don't know. I think we set up perfectly. It was really easy. We nullified them after, a bit of shaky play from Saliba, Ben White and Timber all looked a little bit shaky at the beginning, but I think they settled into the game quite well. Spurs didn't take advantage of that. And I think it's 50-50 between Ange and Tottenham for this loss. I'm seeing quite a mix, but I think, in my opinion, I think he should have packed the midfield. He should have started Sarr instead of just going Bentancur on his own and then playing everyone else attacking. They all just got in each other's way. There wasn't any element of trying to, play. It was only Maddison. Maddison was playing way too deep as well because he had to drop back because he didn't have another midfielder there to pick up the ball. So it was less effective. Son was too wide. And Brennan Johnson, my God. But you look at it and you're like, to take them to the next level, they've signed Brennan Johnson, Timo Werner, Dominic Solanke. Who the hell is Odebert as well? Like, who's that? Like, it's not signings that a team who's in fifth goes, well, we want to win a trophy next. These are the signings we're going to make. And that's Tottenham. That's Tottenham for you. So I think we made it a little bit more difficult and a few of our players were sleeping a bit. And I'm just surprised they didn't take advantage of the fact that we didn't have Odegaard. We didn't have Marino. We didn't have Declan Rice. I mean, Jorginho and Partey both starting up against, if we have to start that against Man City, we'd be torn apart in midfield. But they just didn't really. They made Jorginho and Partey actually look like, they were 5 years younger and could run around the whole game. And I was surprised that they just didn't have a game plan that was going to work with how we set up. And I think Spurs fans would be really annoyed about that, really frustrated, I think, more so than like the last one, which was a bit of a blip where we just, 3-0 up and then they came back. I think this one will hurt more because it was winnable for them and you're not going to get many chances to play your rival that missing two of their best players or two first teamers, so yeah, good result. We set up well. But the injuries is another thing with us. Like our midfield, that is not a good midfield. I don't want to see that midfield again, like for the rest of the season, please. Rice is back again on Sunday. Hopefully Odegaard's injury is not bad. Saka went off injured. We're missing Marino till middle of October. And I think even after last season, like we went the whole season without any injuries to first team players, like for more than 1 or 2 games. Odegaard, Saka played the whole season. Havertz played the whole season. Saliba and Gabriel whole season. Ben White whole season. Raya the whole season. This year is not going to be the same. It's rare you have 2 seasons in a row where your first teamers aren't injured. Like we were seeing Odegaard's down and Saka, the way that kid is. Like, yeah, it's going to happen. But this is why you got to strengthen. And I don't think we did enough, which is why I'm always going to have Man City it's the same with Liverpool. Like how did Arsenal and Liverpool approach that window and go, we can catch Man City? They've barely done any business. And Liverpool signed 1 first team player for 10 million. We signed Raheem Sterling, which I'm not mad at. I think that's, for cover for Saka, why not? But that's it in terms of attacking players, Raheem Sterling. And it was like, it's a bit underwhelming. You look at Man City and how they started. Rodri and Foden have barely played and they look 10 out of 10 at the moment. So it's annoying because I think we're so close, but I don't think we did enough. We need City to really fall off the pace. And it looks like injuries are finally going to catch up to us because, as Han said, Chelsea, United, Liverpool, Newcastle, absolutely riddled with injuries last season. And we've got away with not having that for years. And we need to be able to deal with that. And it's going to happen. It's happening right now. So, yeah, good win. Let's see how this week goes. Atlanta and City. God, if we get 3 wins out of 3 of those ones, that would be amazing with missing Odegaard as well. Like, that would be huge. But Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes, but the squad isn't. We don't have the squad of Man City to compete with all of these, and we need to win a trophy. He's got to go for Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Champions League. He's got to go for all of them. Like we're under pressure to win something, so you can't just like rotate heavily in these competitions. You need to actually go for it, which just piles up. So we're in for a long season, Arsenal fans, but this is a good start. And I'm not gonna, always gonna celebrate North London Derby, but yeah, we'll see how it is. And also, last thing I want to say, that Raheem Sterling cameo was horrific. He needs to step up quick. he needs to. I was like okay with Sterling. Most Arsenal fans, most are lying, but a lot are just like, you know what, it wasn't my first choice, but we need a backup. Why not? Hopefully Arteta can get the best out of him like he was at City. Probably won't, but if he can be a cameo and play well, that was horrific, that cameo. He needs to get up to speed quick, Sterling, or the fans are going to turn on him instantly. Because you come from Man City and Chelsea now. He can't be coming on and losing the ball and like when we're, trying to keep it and then not tracking back. And it's like, dude, this isn't a holiday.
No. And it was one of those when he lost the ball, it wasn't that he just there's no need.
It just did the usual Sterling thing, like just doesn't know what to do with the ball.
Headless chicken ran into a blind alley and you're like, what are you doing, man? Just keep
it's like we got him, Martinelli, like just two players who you don't want to touch the ball more than 3 times on that left-hand side. Martinelli's a shadow of the player as well. So it's like that left-hand side is open. Trossard is probably the favorite at the moment, but even when he starts, he kind of the games just go past him. Martinelli makes the wrong decisions all the time these days. And Raheem Sterling is clearly not up to speed. Gabriel Jesus, no thank you. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, but great result.
Exactly, 1-0. And I saw a lot of people saying, it was just 1-0, it's whatever. But I thought defensively that performance was so impressive. When you can go and do that and there's no real chances for Spurs to talk. We said that one that Solanke dwelled on it too long. Didn't create nothing.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that possession, decent areas. It gave me quite like Mourinho Chelsea vibes where you just knew that you're not going to get the chances. You're going to get 1 or 2 moments and they weren't going to do anything. And then obviously the set piece was just Tottenham are dreadful at set pieces and you're excellent at set pieces.
Fell asleep, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Typical Spursy.
It's just their business. I just look at them like if I was a Spurs fan, I'd be really angry at the way things have gone in the last few windows. I mean, why did they sign Werner? And then again why would you bring on Werner? It wasn't a game where you had the space to use someone like Timo Werner. You should have you bought a person who's good on the ball in Bergvall, and Sarr you left way too late. And it was just like, what do you expect Timo Werner to come on and do? Yeah. And all he did was come on and be offside twice. How are you offside when we've literally like playing a low block the whole game and he's still offside? So yeah, I don't think they're very good. Maddison is all over the place since that injury. Son is kind of past it now. Kane's obviously gone. They're on the fringes, Spurs. I think they're on the fringes generally, but I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they'll stick with Ange, like if he's got like, if they'll pull the trigger, let's say if they're around 8th, 9th, starting to slip out of that European competition. I don't really know what their goal is with Tottenham. I'd imagine it would be a top seven, European place.
Well, they want it, don't they? I think the problem is, again, you've got that fan base that think they deserve to be in it and think they should be fighting for trophies. And the reality is that there are some very, very good teams in this league at the moment that are better than Spurs. And that was the case last season. I know that they started really well, which surprised us all because we thought, not great business. Kane's gone, Dan's coming in. It's going to take them a while. And I think they overachieved early on and they all got excited and thought we should be in this fight. And you're like, Arsenal and City are just on another level. Then you've still got the level that Liverpool are on. Villa are miles better. And then you still got, question mark teams like United, Chelsea, Newcastle. Newcastle look better, and I don't mean they've looked brilliant so far, but they're getting results and they're picking stuff up. And Spurs just, he's also come out in his post-conference, hasn't he, and said, I win trophies in my second year. I will win a trophy. I'm thinking, so which one's that then, Ange?
This is what annoys me though, Sam. Like, you'll get this. Like, everyone calls Ten Hag arrogant when he turns around to reporters and says, I've won 2 trophies in 2 seasons. And he has. And Andrew's coming out and saying stuff like that. And he's, no offense, done nothing. And it doesn't look like he's going to do anything this season. Like, let's be honest. They're not going to win a trophy this season.
No, not with that team.
And it's like, I think because he calls the journos mate and does all this, he escapes so much criticism. And I think, if I was a Spurs fan right now, I'd be worried. But again, it's kind of a bit arrogant just to say, well, because I usually win trophies in my, my second year, I'm going to win one this season. I think you're way off it, mate. You don't look anywhere near winning a trophy.
Not with Brennan Johnson down the wing doing the same thing every single time.
I just think,
it's
we
played strange business
in 2 weeks. Bring it on. I'd rather get more like this.
I think you lot at home, that shouldn't be a problem whatsoever.
You would think.
They'll give you some trouble at times, but that shouldn't be a problem. The way they play the game, and also United will happily play a low block at times. Spurs have got, I think Spurs have the most average possession of any of the teams at the moment in the Premier League. It's they're just holding the ball and doing absolutely nothing with it.
And they've had games. I don't know what it was. I know before last weekend they'd had the second most shots, but their goal per shot ratio is horrendous.
Big chances. Yeah, exactly.
Horrendous. They're all just pot shotting from everywhere.
It's just really strange. It's Solanke over Tony was a signal, and it's I think Dominic Solanke is a bad player, but I think that game sort of just proved his first touch is awful, and it's just a decision making. Ivan Toney would have been a signing where you go, shit, Spurs have got Ivan Toney now.
Yeah,
they might actually do. That's enough for them to do it, and it's it's strange business. It's not consistent with what you expect from what their goals are at the moment, and it should have been way more comfortable. If we had a full fit team, we would have finished them off in that first half.
Yeah, you'd have blitzed through them a bit more, I think. Yeah, there's a lot of work for them to do. That's 2 losses on the bounce. The win that they had was against Everton, who obviously we said were in 3-1. They drew with Leicester in the first game, and so it doesn't get easy because they've got Brentford at home, and sometimes that suits Brentford actually.
Brentford are their form team at the moment.
They're playing really well. Then they go to Old Trafford. Then they go to Brighton. It could get nasty quickly.
So this is where it gets difficult for them.
Yeah.
And they'll have Europa League starting as well, so they'll have all of that jazz to contend with.
They'll have you after their Europa League game.
Yeah, could be.
Bring it on.
Could be tasty.
This is it. One win, we're
confident as anything. We beat Southampton. Bring it on.
Honestly. But I'll tell you what, though. Pedro Porro. Don't Real Madrid need a right back, right? Everyone's curious. I know Trent's been sniffing around, but I'm looking at him Pedro Porro is unreal. He's way too good for that team.
I would do anything. I would do anything for Liverpool to lose Trent on a free. And for him to
and Salah and Van Dijk.
Yeah, because that's the biggest kick in the balls ever. Because everyone's no, he won't go. He's homegrown. He's going, and he's gonna go for free. And Alisson.
I mean, he has to, if he's going to go anywhere, it has to be Real Madrid. If you're Trent, you're going straight into that first team up behind Carvajal, and it's the biggest club in the world. There you go. So it's he's not going to leave Liverpool unless it's Real Madrid. He can't go anywhere else. What would be the point?
This is it. And it's going to be abroad because it won't be anywhere in UK. And that. The question is going to be if Liverpool do have this tail off. I think as it stands at the minute, and they think he's competing and he's in it, but can he contend with what Gerrard had to contend with when he's in that Liverpool team going, we're fighting for cups, we're not fighting for leads. And if this season starts to tail off, I mean, who knows how it's going to end up? But maybe that affects his thinking. Then he hears Salah's going, then he hears Van Dijk's going. He's going to want to know. He's going to be one of the ones going, so what are we doing next? What are we getting in this transfer window? What's your ambitions? And if they can't match that, maybe Madrid will be enough.
Yeah, I don't know. He seems a bit reserved at Liverpool at the moment. I wonder if the system is just kind of not suitable for the Trent under Klopp. He's a brilliant footballer, but I look at it and I'm maybe this is one of the elements they're moving past now, and they need more traditional fullbacks, or they need a different type of player on that side, because he hasn't really hit the ground running. He looked good in England, but he hasn't really started that well for Liverpool. He hasn't been bad, but he's not really been the impactful player. We look at Trent, he's who's going to make stuff happen in that team? Salah, Trent. Those are the two, really. Diaz has been brilliant, but those are the two guys you're looking at going, that right-hand side is where the magic happens, and Trent hasn't really been involved. So I wonder if long-term they're looking at it and going, he's not part of the project. But to lose him for free would be
hilarious.
That fan base would not be happy. That would be meltdown.
That would be FSG out. You know, they need to discover a scarf to wave. That's what you need to do.
Sell them in the summer,
yeah.
But their game, they should. This is the thing. Liverpool had the issue with last season, and they should have won that. They should have been 3-0 up in the first half. Whereas last season was the same thing. He said Liverpool was like they don't take their chances, and it's like Jota. I love Jota, but he should have scored a few goals. He's been like that outside the first game. He's missed a load of sitters. I think that looks like it was a blip. They still look like they were playing how the beginning, the Liverpool, but I don't know who they've got next. I think they still got a decent fixture up. Is it Brentford? No, that's Spurs.
Liverpool have got Bournemouth next, then Wolves. Bournemouth, Wolves, Palace, home to Chelsea. So there's some fixtures there.
They should be winning all those. Yeah. See how they bounce back against Bournemouth, because Bournemouth are another team which can be a pain in the arse at the moment.
Yeah, that could be tricking their finger. I think Bournemouth have given them games at Anfield in the past, but we'll come on to Liverpool. Definitely come on to Liverpool in a second. Simon says Spurs have got us. Someone said yes, they have. Well, United aren't playing them for another week, so it's the week after the Europa League, because we've got the mighty Barnsley in midweek to contend with before Crystal Palace. So yeah, of course, as Lucas mentioned there, Liverpool game, Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Obviously, a week ago, everything was great and rosy, and then this one they couldn't break down Nottingham Forest, and Hannah's devastated. So let's let's let Hannah have a say.
Josh, where are you? Oh, Josh, hilarious. I'm sorry. Like I tweeted this, and I will say this because I do get it. Like I know they beat us 3-0 at home in our own turf, and I don't care if I'm shameless. The fact that United won and Liverpool lost to Forest at Anfield just made my entire weekend brilliant. And it's always, do you know what? Like as funny as it is, and like it is, and we will get onto that. Fair play to Forest to go to Anfield and win. Yeah. And they're one of the 4 unbeaten teams this season. Like, what? I didn't think I'd be scared of Nottingham Forest, but here we are. They're looking pretty good. But to go to Anfield, like, as much as I hate to say it, that is definitely one of the harder stadiums to go to in the Premier League. That's probably one of your hardest away fixtures. Brilliant. And that Hudson-Odoi goal was just, that needs to be getting goal of the month. That was incredible. But no, like, fair play to them. It was brilliant. I thought, like, it was managed really well. I thought they, held their own. I do think Liverpool were particularly crap. I don't really know what happened there. I didn't get to watch all of it. I only got to watch the first half. And I think apparently when McAllister came off, it all went like terribly. But brilliant, like great result for a United fan.
It was because we did have to be fair, we had an international break, so we've had to deal with it for a couple of weeks. So
that's all we've heard.
Kind of nice to kind of calm it all down a little bit. It was all getting very excited, so it's nice to let's just calm it down. But I thought the bits I saw of the game, I thought he just kind of, it was one of those got the sense. I was watching it over the shoulder of a guy, I was watching it on the side, and he was a Liverpool fan going, we're going to get caught here. This just screams of a 1-0 the other way, just that they weren't quite doing enough, instead of being wasteful. Forest still had a threat. I also found Slot's comments afterwards really strange, where he was talking about that they made it really stop-start, that Nottingham Forest did. It's like, hello, that's at Anfield. That's what teams do against you. That's
the Premier League.
That's the Premier League and the ploy. So it just seemed a bit naive that kind of he wasn't anticipating that. I mean, his early days Premier League, so he may well get that. But yeah, it'll be interesting because everything's been so great. This is now the first small little blip. How do they deal with it? Everything's been great. Klopp's gone. Slot's amazing. Everything's good. And now it's a little bit like, okay, they're in a project, I think. What did you make of it, Lucas?
I think it's probably better for them that this happened now, because I think it's a good for Slot to see that and go, this shit can kind of just happen in the Prem now. We'll be up against it, and then this happened. So I think happening now further than, let's say they went on a 6-game winning run and they can't get my words out. They were buzzing about it, and then it happens around Christmas, and then injuries pile up, and then they go on a barren run. I think having that one-off blip or freak game early on for him in his tenure, while they are playing well, and they did play well, it's probably good for them long term, as opposed to it happening later on down the line when it's like crunch time. So maybe I reckon they bounce back, and I think they probably they if they go and comfortably beat Bournemouth after this, I think I still have them as like, you know, they probably look better than us, to be honest. If we're going off just the start, even though they lost that game, seeing how they respond to Bournemouth, they're probably looking like they'll finish second if everyone stays fit and things like that. So it's interesting. There's quite a few teams here where you kind of have to see how they bounce back. But you know what it is? I think the international break is just throwing a few teams off, and Liverpool one of the ones who just their momentum just got killed. And it is a shame, like 3 games in the beginning of the season and international break. There you go, 2 weeks. When you're picking up momentum,
it's the worst of the season. Worst week of the season. It tipped me off the back of a European competition in mid-season. Like, you say for Liverpool, but hated it. But beat Man United at Old Trafford and then stop.
Injuries like Ake, Odegaard, like his play is just down now for months. Like it's just But yeah, Liverpool will be one. How they bounce back from this against Bournemouth, they need a comfortable win. That one, especially as it's at Anfield again. I mean, can you imagine if they go and lose that? Hannah will be happy, but if they lose that again, that would be.
I'll be on the show then if that happens. And I didn't have Josh years.
Liverpool lose to Bournemouth and we beat City. I'll be there on Monday as well with champagne.
I'm bringing Heather on if Liverpool lose to Bournemouth at Anfield as well. It's going
to be that's a good idea.
That's an absolute treat.
I mean, it's not gone
beyond the realms of possibility, is it? Bournemouth have been playing quite tasty.
Bournemouth are good. I was going to say, what about Forest? Do you think this is just the early start? You think they actually look?
I think this is a purple patch.
It's a purple patch.
I don't think they're gonna like get relegated or anything like that. I think they'll be mid-table, but I don't think they'll be like.
I mean, what they've got 8 points now.
They've got 8 points and they've not conceded more than a goal a game. But I think
a third of the way to safety after 4 games, pretty much.
Yeah, defensively they've surprised me. I think how decent they've been. I mean, I think Milenkovic.
But Liverpool did get in quite a bit. I think we need a little bit more from Bournemouth to tell, but. Santos is not a bad manager. We can't just base him off his Spurs tenure. Like his whole time at Wolves, he didn't have Wolves as one of the biggest pain in the arse teams to play in the league.
They were horrible, and they were like this: 1-0s and 1-alls, and just couldn't get past.
And they were the ones that would frustrate the big teams so much. I remember.
Do you remember how we used to have like 4 0-0s of Wolves, and they were just the most painful games to get through.
They were Man City's bogey team. They always gave us problems. And it's like, if he's emulating that with Forest and solidifying them defensively and just making them a pain in the arse to beat, and then, you know, he's got a much more consistent attack as well. He's riddled with injuries in that team, but this one, it looks like he's got his consistent front 3. I know Hudson-Odoi and Elanga both didn't start in this one, but that was maybe just a fitness thing because they both struggled. But it's looking like Wood, Hudson-Odoi, and Elanga. That's a good front 3. Like they're clicking. And then he's got, Gibbs White behind. I can't remember the name of the guy in the pivot, but he's all right who they signed the thing. And then the defenders are looking decent. That Ola Aina they bought in is looking really good. So, yeah, we'll see how they go. They're another one who, them and Bournemouth look like they're going to disrupt things a bit. And maybe Brighton, although Brighton slipped up again, which was really weird. I don't know how that one happened.
That was a result. That was a strange result because, they sort of thought off the back of their. I don't know. Brighton did this last season a bit though, didn't they? They turned up against the sides that you wouldn't expect them to, and then they'd kind of drop points in all sorts of stupid areas. So maybe it's a bit of that. But I agree. I think Forest are looking really exciting so far. But we need a few more to tell. They've got again Brighton away next, Fulham at home,
game.
Chelsea away, Palace at home, Leicester. It's not bad fixtures, so they've got a run where they could cause some trouble. Cause some trouble for sure. So we've done that. We've done Nottingham Forest. We've done Liverpool. Should we bring up the table and let's have a look at the fixtures that we haven't talked about? Because there was, of course, obviously some other games. Chelsea went and beat Bournemouth. I haven't seen that either. But
so jammy.
Can't believe that happened. I would have. Chelsea should have never won that the way Bournemouth are playing, especially away.
Oh, and the other thing, I don't even care.
As well.
I don't even care if I sound bitter. The Sancho revisionism is ridiculous. 1 assist, like let's Just give it.
You better hope that's his only one for the season.
Yeah, do you know what? Like, even if he gets a couple, like everyone's like, "Oh, United fans are crying." I'm like, for lack of a better word, I couldn't give a shit, to be honest. Like, he is lazy. He's incompetent. He never, even if he goes and balls out for Chelsea, he never cared about us and he never wanted to play well for us. So, better that they're paying his wages because he's on £350,000 a week. So go and enjoy him for that price. If you're getting a few assists, then well worth his money. But I don't care. But it's just everyone's like, oh, I bet United fans are crying. Like, no, because Ahmad, Garnacho, and Rashford scored. So you go have him.
It's all that practice he had with Maresca at Man City, and that's what it is. That's why he's hit the ball running. It's all that time they had together.
He's just so entitled, and Chelsea fans will see. Chelsea fans will see why we didn't. Yeah, why we got rid of him. But that's all I'll say.
You know what it is? He is very talented, and it's like when he plays at Dortmund, it's like that is. You look at him at Dortmund, you're like, he's a quality footballer, but for you, like, it was just. The thing is that there were some games where you look at it and it's like this kid is like really good, but it just can't be asked. You could just tell it just cannot be asked.
But it's
such a shame.
Someone that's being paid £350,000 a week.
Madness.
There's no room for that. It's disgusting.
It's ridiculous.
So off he goes.
If Chelsea can unlock it, we'll see, because there is a player in there for sure.
But then again, like
very young as well.
he's got a lot of competition, so it'll be
he does. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if he gets the minutes or if he doesn't, but whatever. Like I say, I'd rather that they pay his wages than us.
It is always looking at a Chelsea lineup. There's always that. Oh yeah, that guy. Oh yeah, that guy. Who the hell's that guy? It's just it's a complete confusion. And I say they didn't even. I think Lavia didn't play this weekend. He's been quite good for them so far. I've been impressed with him. And Neto hasn't really done anything yet. Noni Madueke started really strongly for them as well.
So, I mean, Neto's been taken off quite. I wonder if it is just managing his minutes, because he was injured quite a bit. Because he's been taken off at halftime or just after halftime quite a bit. And I think it looks like that is the ideal front four that Maresca's going with, is Madueke, Palmer, Neto, Jackson. I don't know how much longer Madueke is in there, because let's be honest, that hat-trick was a one-off. He is awful. So someone else could probably take that right-hand side. So maybe it'll be Sancho, Felix, and Kunku. Mudryk. Definitely not Mudryk. But yeah, it's a weird one, because I think both wings are open still, which is probably a good position for them to be in. If Maresca's just gone, there's 4 of you. I've got 2 positions. There's 5 of you, sorry, and I've got 2 positions. Whoever plays for it gets it. Whoever wants it, go and get it. Go and prove that you should start.
It's going to be interesting with Chelsea, because they got West Ham away next, which should. West Ham haven't started great, but
good fixtures next week.
It's not bad.
Bloody hell.
Going to be an interesting one. Some cracking games coming up, and how Chelsea are going to perform with that. Graham says he was going to comment on Bournemouth Chelsea, but Anthony Taylor booked me for dissent. Yeah, there was a horrendous
14, right?
Yeah, 14, and then there was I think you equalled the record in the North London derby, didn't you, in the first half with a 7 or something?
7.
In the first half. Crazy.
Generally, next weekend, Aston Villa Wolves is probably the only game people can confidently call, and watch out, that be the only one that is an upset. It's like West Ham Chelsea, who knows? Fulham Newcastle, who knows? Leicester Everton, Liverpool Bournemouth, but again, after Liverpool's loss, you never know. Spurs Brentford, Southampton Ipswich, Palace United, City Arsenal, and what's the other one? Brighton Forest.
Yeah, they are going to be hard to predict.
Really
very unpredictable games, isn't it?
I think I
hope we beat Palace.
I do think you do. You know, I think it's the only one. You had Palace down there on my predictions, because I was just not convinced.
The only thing that gives me a bit of hope, but in the same breath it doesn't, is Palace's form right now. But then I think it's going to be typical.
They're all over the place. Yeah, maybe this is their turning point, but I think you've got to smell blood at the moment. Palace are in the fringes of getting dragged into the relegation battle, the way they're playing. And everyone's fit. It's not like they're missing people.
Yeah, that's true.
It's their first team plus new signings are bedded in. Like it's not been good from Palace so far.
No, they obviously had their 2 draw with Leicester, with of course Jean-Philippe Mateta back, and the evergreen Jamie Vardy adding to his Premier League total. Jamie Vardy's the player that Tottenham needed up front. What have they done? Great draw that. Well, a good point start for Leicester that they needed. Graham says, loving the new table. Thank you, Graham. I just wanted to try and see it. I put the other one up and I couldn't see it. So it's always difficult to talk about the table that you can't see. Sometimes it's for the best, I find. So if United start dropping down, we're going to revert back to the old one. Simon says on Sancho, certain players need a certain type of manager. Maybe Ten Hag isn't the kind of manager that Sancho needs. Maybe Sancho needs one who doesn't know who he is because there's so many players running around.
I think what Sancho needs,
you can play.
Sancho clearly needs a manager to literally like wipe his butt. Let's be honest, because everyone forgets that Ten Hag gave him 3 months off in the middle of the season when loads of our wingers were injured, and he like got him one-to-one training, like nutrition plans, blah blah blah, all that stuff. So I'm sorry, I'm not like I disagree, but that's just me.
Graham straight on with the maths. 4 games in and over a quarter of the league still haven't won a game. There you go. Still teams that need to win. That's Leicester, Palace, Ipswich, Wolves, Southampton and Everton. And talking of Everton, our very own Rebecca has been catching up. Bless her. She's had a rough start to the season as an Everton and an Accrington fan. She wanted to have her say. Just catching up with the Everton talk. It's so frustrating to be an Everton fan at the moment with the way we've started this season, but especially the last 2 results. Part 1 of the rant. Part 2 of the rant, adding in the current situation with the ownership that isn't helping, and there is yet again no clarity for the fans. It's scary again for us. We have no left back with Mikalenko out. Thankfully, we're seeing Jared and Pato return to training, but it can't be down to them to put us back. So there's talk of Dyche benching Pickford due to performance, but it isn't all down to him. We need to look at who is in front of him and bench Keane and start O'Brien. It's a shambles. Enjoy the rant, she says. There we go. So Rebecca is frustrated Everton fan. And of course, Newcastle Wolves is one we haven't touched on. Wolves 1-0 up, Newcastle coming back, and we have our second Thunder Bastard of the evening with the Harvey Barnes strike. We've hit our limit of 2 Thunder Bastards a week. Great win. Lucas, what do you think of Newcastle? Because they're up in 3rd. Kind of quietly.
How was that?
Just somehow happened.
They have not looked like a team that should be in 3rd at all, but it's a weird one with Newcastle. I thought I wasn't impressed with them at all up until, well, I'm still not really. I think they just haven't really got going. But if you're getting points before that happens, why not? Why not put yourself in the conversation for that? That 4th spot in the Champions League is wide open. Let's be honest, and potentially someone could make that 3rd spot open as well. So sorry. Yeah. Ishak has rarely got going. Tonali's yet to be embedded fully into the team again, but he looked quality when he played in the cup match and for Italy. So Gordon hasn't yet got going. Like if it starts to click again for them, like it did last season with these guys scoring goals, Newcastle could be a pain again. I think Tonali is a big addition. I really rate him, and they didn't have him for the whole last season, so he's back in there. The defense is still question marks, but like Lewis Hall has looked really good. As left back, Livramento has solidified that right hand side. They've got some fresh legs in there now. Actual fullbacks now who can run up and down the pitch. It's not Dan Burn and Kieran Trippier anymore, hobbling along. So, yeah, why couldn't Newcastle pick up a run? I think their fixtures are actually relatively okay. I think they've got City coming up as like pretty soon.
Yeah, Fulham away, City home, away at Everton, home to Brighton, and then they've got Chelsea and Arsenal.
To be fair, I changed that. That's actually not very. That's very tough fixtures. So this is Newcastle had a decent start. This is where it gets tough for them. But we'll see. We'll see how Newcastle do.
And there we go. Anything else you want to touch on, Han? Or are you happy? We've covered everything important.
Yeah, we've definitely have. I would say.
I think we've done good. There's no European football this week because I couldn't be bothered to do the tables because I had a long weekend and I hadn't looked at any of it. So we're just going to leave it at the Premier League.
You can do the highlights. Lamine Yamal is amazing. Conte has still got it. What else happened? That's probably those are the 2 ones. Conte's Napoli are first in the table. Lukaku scoring goals. McTominay's going to lift the trophy.
Scotty's going to win Serie A. You watch it.
Serie A. Conor Gallagher scored on the weekend.
And
for Atletico
Alvarez
Madrid.
scored.
And Alvarez, yep. Barca look pretty tasty at the moment on the Hansi Flick. And Madrid are getting there, but this Mbappe Vinny situation isn't getting better at the moment. So there's your summary of Europe. Yeah, there's the European highlights. Some good games this weekend, though. I think is the Milan derby. There's a big game. Is either that or Milan?
How good that how good that Milan won, and they're playing Liverpool tomorrow at home.
That would be good.
Unlucky.
I might watch that instead of Barnsley, you know.
Yeah, might be a better game.
I know which one I'll be watching. Yeah,
watch Anthony pirouette down the right hand side, or watch.
Watch us scrape a 1-0 win.
Yeah, 100%.
1-0 down. Yeah, Bruno and Co coming on after
Evans
65 minutes in panic mode.
Good European football this week as well. So
there we go. This is it. Champions
games.
League. That's where it's all at.
So many games.
It's
5:45 and then 8
everywhere. Are they doing? Is it staggered? So it's Champions League 1 week, Europa the next. Is that why we've got Thursday football? So we've got literally every day until Christmas.
That's brilliant.
I'm pretty sure it is. It's good. And there's some good teams in Europa and Conference where it's like you're going to force yourself to watch. There's some good fixtures in there. Like, come on, you lot playing Fenerbahce. I will be watching that.
Oh, yeah, against Fred
Jose
and
Mourinho.
Fred and
Amrabat. That is going to be the fixture of the season. I'm calling it right now.
I'm excited for Porto.
Porto will be good as well.
Porto away. That's going to be.
But the story with Mourinho is just.
It's at Fenerbahce as well, isn't it? It's
at Fenerbahce, yeah.
You watch Fred drop the absolute performance of a lifetime. Like,
you got a hat trick the other day.
Yeah. I do love Fred. There's something about Fred. I always did enjoy Fred.
You should never have let him go. Never.
No, him and Ander Herrera were players like that we needed around that midfield while we let.
I do think of the ones you let go recently. Fred was. I didn't really like him, but I could see a use for him, especially in Ten Hag's system.
Yeah, little terrier.
Most of them at McTominay.
If you suddenly had Fred now alongside Mainu, you'd go, okay, I can see it a little bit more.
Yeah, but Mainu wouldn't be on his own. Uncle Casemiro.
Yeah, he would.
Uncle Casemiro. Well, maybe we'll see him at Barnsley. Who knows?
Although that assist, did he get an assist on that pass to that Garnacho goal? Was
it's
annoying though when they do that. Ten Hag will be like, "Oh, he should start now."
Get him in the centre back.
Maybe against Barnsley, but it's time for Ugarte to come on now and take his spot.
He should just be Barnsley, or when you need to rest one of the centre backs so they don't get injured and the game's already won. Bring on Casemiro to just chill while you keeping all of the ball.
Yeah, sit there and hold it. Don't need to run around. Just chill out, Casemiro. Chill out. Let someone else do it for a change. Let someone else. But it's been wonderful to talk Premier League with you guys. Thank you to everybody in the chat who's joined us this week. And so we will be back again next Monday. Plenty to cover. And if you're not following these lovely people, then first of all, what the hell are you doing? And B, where can they find you if they're not following you? Hannah, where can everybody find you and all the wonderful stuff that you're up to?
Well, I've had some exciting developments on my side of things lately. So one annoying thing, I predicted that United would beat Liverpool 2-1. And I posted that on TikTok and Instagram and it went like viral. It got like 2 million views. So you can imagine how many Scousers were in my comments. So
bookmarked.
Twitter is at UnitedHan, this one. And then my TikTok is Han Talks Football. But if you go on my link tree on my Twitter, if you're not on it already, I would love for anyone who plays FPL to join my league because I give prizes for people that do well. So it's well worth doing if you do it already. So please join my league. But yeah, all the information is on my Twitter. So give that a check out if you can. But thanks, Sam.
Welcome. Go and check that out. And of course, where can everybody find Lucas? And as always, I ask you, Lucas, what's on at the box office? What should we be watching?
We'll be here all night, Sam. You shouldn't ask me.
Some good stuff, is there? Oh, good.
Cinema's a little bit quiet at the moment. Speak No Evil is supposed to be pretty good. James McAvoy's in that one. But you're actually okay. Honestly, I think until Gladiator 2, it's relatively quiet. Gladiator 2, definitely. November, if you like the first one, it's Ridley Scott again. But TV, Night Sleeper on BBC iPlayer, you won't regret it. And From, which I've got Sam on.
Second that, very good, yeah.
And What else? I'm sure some reality shit that someone told me about on the other day, and I was just like, I'm not watching that, but it sounds pretty interesting. But I'm staying away because if you watch 10 minutes, you're hooked for life. Can't get away. But yeah, Box Office Lucas on TikTok for everything film and TV. Crab Dribble on TikTok for everything Football Manager, which is going to get pretty busy soon. You pick up the new game, I assume. Even though we've seen nothing of it.
We've seen nothing of it, and it might not be here yet, and half of the features aren't there.
And it might be awful.
Yeah, I don't know, because I haven't played this one that much, so I don't know whether I'm going to be in the camp of let's wait while they mess around with it in the first year and see the second. Or maybe I'll pick it up like halfway through the cycle just for a little bit of a play about. If it seems okay, I might do that. I always say that, and then I'll be like, screw it, let's get it for Christmas. But
yeah, exactly.
We'll see what happens with that.
It is the Christmas game. Post Monopoly and all that, just go to your room after you've lost the Monopoly and are drunk out of your mind. Just go and manage United. Go and sign a proper DM on Football Manager.
Yeah, sort out all this stuff.
Anthony spends Boxing Day. Anthony straight away to Saudi.
Yeah, well, it might have to be done this year because not going around the in-laws, so it's possible not going around the parents either. So I think it's just at home. So I'm going to need.
We'll get the Absolute Football. We'll get the whole crew on it at some point. We'll convince them.
Yeah, this is it. Massive when we get in. That'll be quality. We'll have Rebecca signing Everton and Accrington players all over the place. We'll be in trouble. We'll be in trouble. And of course, you can find me. I am at SamAbsoluteFBL on Twitter and on my YouTube channel, which I've just started at SamAbsoluteEFL. I'm doing some EFL football videos on stuff when I can find some time. And Graham as well has said, there we go. He got a Charlton. I can't speak either. I got a Charlton shirt. Thanks to Hannah on one of her competitions. There you go. What a lovely one. And Graham says as well, yes, that was a lovely mug. A lovely mug I was drinking out, Sam. Is there any way that someone could win someone? You can win someone. If you go to Twitter and you find, I think I might have had it here because I did this on the lower league. Let's see. I might be able to chuck it up. There we are. It's titled Mug. There we are. Mug. Competition giveaway. So as we're very close, we're almost on our 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is extremely exciting. You can win one of these lovely mugs with all these people's faces on it, including Hannah and Lucas are on there as well. All you have to do, follow us and retweet this message, send a screenshot if you subscribe to the YouTube channel in the thread in that chat, and you could be in with a chance. Once we hit 1,000, we're going to do a live giveaway on the show with everybody who's entered. So it's a possibility. It's a possibility. And I can say it's one of the best cups of tea I've ever had in my life. It's lovely. So, but you'll get a fresh one. This is my one. You don't want my second-hand drunk in. It's there for you. So there we go. You can get the mug. And of course, you can get, Rebecca's already in. Seb Quirk, there we go, in the Football Manager squad. She's putting him straight in. So there we go. Football Manager is working. And you need to follow the podcast. Of course you do. Where are we? We are on Twitter at Absolute Ball Pod, on YouTube and Twitch, Absolute Football Podcast, on TikTok at Absolute Football Pod, Instagram and Threads sometimes, Absolute Football Podcast _. And we think we're on Facebook as well on the Absolute Football Podcast. We're on Monday with the Premier League shows. Wednesday is the Women's Football Show. Very exciting this week because they've got their WSL preview. Women's Super League is back this weekend. So I think we've got 5 of them on this week. It's a proper collection of team chaos coming on. And on Thursday, we've got Shah. Shah's back with the Rowdy Rabble, everything in EFL and National League, including National League North and South this season as well. So we just cover it all. We cover it all. We've got it all covered, all your bases. But we hope you have a lovely week. Have a great football enjoyment because there's games every day. And hopefully we will catch you on the next one. Take care and see you soon. Bye-bye.